Krishna devotees. Prabhu, we speak in English, Hindi, English. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
So it's my great pleasure and honor to be here with all of you here. My warm welcome to all of you devotees from ISKCON Gurgaon. My special gratitude to His Grace Nitai Prabhu. Nitai Prabhu has been such a wonderful Vaishnava who is always appreciating others and who is always smiling, laughing, and it's been amazing to have his association. So he has kindly invited me for this program this evening. So before we hear the real nectar by Nitai Prabhu, I'll speak something on the topic Krishna, the greatest thief. As all of us are very much aware and are focusing on this auspicious month of Purushottam Maas. So in this month of Purushottam Maas, we are trying to remember Krishna, right? So everybody is doing their wonderful sadhana, bhajan, and they are remembering Krishna. So as all of us are aware that Purushottam Maas is once in 3 years, and there is always a difference because of the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. The lunar calendar has almost 355 days and the solar calendar has 365 days. So the difference of this 10 days over a period of 3 years becomes a month, and that becomes the Adhik Maas, or the extra month. And we all know the pastime how when this Adhik Maas was very much morose, because you cannot do the karma kanda, you cannot do all the rituals in this month, because the presence of the sun, because the sun doesn't enter in this the particular Rashi, and because of that all the karma kanda activities are not allowed. They are considered inauspicious. So people started rejecting the month, right? And they were ignored and rejected so much that it was called as Malamas. Malamas is like, he waste. So he was extremely, disappointed and started crying, and then goes to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma takes him to Lord Vishnu, and then Lord Vishnu takes him directly to Krishna in Golok Vrindavan. And Krishna says, you have come to Golok Vrindavan. Why are you so morose? And then he says all the story, and then he says, don't worry, from today onwards this name will be after me, and it will be called as Purushottam Maas. And it will get all the power, tej of my month. And anybody who chants the name of Krishna in this month get 1,000 times more benefit. And then a lot of recommended activities have been explained here. And the month of Purushottam is especially very, very auspicious. His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj always used to say that, we do bhakti every day, but then there are some times where there is special, right? It's like people do shopping throughout the year, but then there is special Diwali sale. There is Christmas sale. Or what is that called? Black Friday. Whatever. So many, ways by which people get discount and this and that. Similarly, Jayapataka Maharaj says like months like Diwali or the Damodar Maas and Purushottam Maas are especially for devotees. They can speed up their bhakti, they can enhance their Krishna consciousness activity. And as all of us recommended that we do more Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, reciting the 15th chapter of the Gita, and especially reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this month is very, very important, and chanting, of course, the holy name. So there are our acharyas, they have given different Vaishnava prayers. We have Bhakti Vinod Thakur, we have Narottam Das Thakur, we have so many wonderful Vaishnavas. They have given us so many wonderful prayers. So these prayers are of 10 different types. You know, the first prayer is like, some pratmika prayer, which is like a direct prayer. Then there is Swadhaina Bodhika, where you are actually, informing the Lord of your humility. Right? We have, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur is telling, Gopinath, Amito Kamera Das. He's saying, I'm a fallen soul, like that. Then there is Manak Shiksha, the prayers where, the devotee is praying and is instructing the mind. Ore man, bhalo nahi sansar. So in this way, he is chanting the names. Then there is Vipralatmika, that means chanting prayers in separation. Right? If you read the Sada Goswami Ashtakam, Srinivasa Acharya is chanting, He Radhe Vrajadevi ke Chalalite, He Nanda Shuno Kutaha. Where are you? Where are you, Krishna? And we chant Jayanilo Premadhana. Where is Rupa? Where is Sanathan? So these are prayers of in separation, in lamentation. Then there is Vaishnava Mahima Pratikaha, which means glorifying Lord's devotees. Like that, there are different prayers which talks about Krishna's beautiful activities, then a devotee's humility, like that. So today we are going to speak on a bhajan which glorifies Krishna as the greatest thief, and that is called as the Chorashtakam. We are going to glorify Krishna, who is the greatest of thieves. What a title, right? What a glorification, right? Just like, you go to a boardroom where the CEO, the board of directors are sitting, and then the CEO is introduced by the board of directors. Let us welcome so and so, the CEO. In the childhood, he was a thief. He used to steal pencil. He used to steal water bottle. He used to do this. Will it be a glorification or a defamation? Right? Here Krishna, the Lord of the universe, we say Akhanda Koti Brahmanda Nayak, the Lord. And here we are saying that he is the greatest of thief. Right? But then Krishna likes it because it is coming lovingly from the heart of the devotees. So Krishna here is mentioned as the greatest of thief, that is Chorashtakam. So the first thing which come to our mind is when we talk about thief, chor. What does it come to your mind? Krishna. Oh my God, you are so Krishna conscious. Immoral. Anything else? जब भी चोर शब्द सुनते तो क्या आपको अच्छा लगता है? क्या लगता है? नेगेटिव. क्या नेगेटिव? पैसा चोरी हो जाएगा, मोबाइल चोरी हो जाएगा, चप्पल चोरी हो जाएगा. हाँ, यस माता जी से. हाँ, कोई कुछ चोरी कुछ ले जाएगा. So there is always a fear. ओ चोर मतलब कुछ तो मेरा चला गया, क्या होगा? There is always fear of losing something, right? So many times, when we hear about thief, so there is always a negative thing. I remember one very important guest had come to our temple many years ago, and Gauranga Prabhu was showing him the temple, the deities, the deity room, the temple hall, the kirtan, the arati, everything. And then after he had taken prasadam in the Govindas, and then when he came down, uska chappal chori ho gaya. And matlab he was a very well-to-do person, and he had just bought a new pair of shoes. But then सब कुछ अच्छा लगा, प्रसाद अच्छा लगा, मंदिर अच्छा लगा, डिवोटी अच्छे लगे, लेकिन जैसे वो चप्पल चोरी हो गया, मतलब he was completely off. And Gauranga Prabhu said that instance of, somebody took his shoes away, it shook him so much that he did not come to temple again. So many times, such incidents are deep ingrained in our heart. Right? So we are talking about Krishna as a thief. Right? So now let's try and understand the verse or the plot. So this Chorashtakam has 8 verses. How many? 8 verses. So the author Bilva Mangal Thakur, he is writing the 8 verses, but before the 8 verses he is giving the plot. Just like before there is a book, there is a preface, there are chapter names, right? So this plot is divided into 4 parts. The first 2 verses talk about the profile of this thief. We are talking about the greatest thief. तो पहले 2 वर्ष में उनका प्रोफाइल बताया गया कि कितने बड़े चोर हैं, कहाँ कहाँ उन्होंने चोरी की है. जैसे प्रभु जी was telling, I was working Reliance, I was working Aptech, I was complaining. So we tell people about the profile. Oh, he has worked in this, he has worked in this. So the first 2 verses are touching, what is the profile of this thief. Then the 3rd and the 4th verse teaches about his expertise. कैसे चोरी करता है, क्या क्या चोरी करता है, राइट? कौन सी चोरी करने में उसकी खासियत है, राइट? Sometimes there are some professional thieves when they go and try to steal, ऐसा हिंदी में बोलते ना, उसको देखकर ताले ऑटोमेटिक खुल जाते हैं, हाँ? So similarly, Krishna is an expert thief, and he is what he is stealing and what is his expertise that he will share. And then comes the 5th and the 6th verse, which is the action plan. कि भाई ये चोर आगे और क्या क्या करता है. मतलब एक तो है उसका एक्सपर्टीज, लेकिन उसके अलावा और क्या चोरी करता है. And then there is 7th and 8th verse where the author is concluding कि ऐसे चोर को मैं कैसे पकड़ूंगा. Like in today's world, आज की दुनिया में कभी कोई बड़ा चोर रहता है तो गवर्नमेंट सेज कि सो एंड सो को चोर को पकड़ेंगे तो 1 लाख का नकद इनाम. तो here he is saying that I will try to capture him red-handed like this. So let us try and begin the first verse. We see how much time we have. So the first verse begins with Vraje prasiddham Navanita choram Gopangananam chadukula choram Aneka janmarjita papa choram Chauragraganyam purusham namami. So in this verse, Bilva Mangal Thakur is giving the work experience of this thief. What is Krishna famous for? The first thing he is famous for, Vraje prasiddham Navanita choram. So he is known for stealing the butter. Generally, in this world, who is a thief? And why does he steal? Because he doesn't have that item. Like, किसी के पास आईफोन नहीं है तो वो चोरी कर रहा है. किसी के पास सोना नहीं है वो चोरी कर रहा है. पैसा नहीं है वो चोरी कर रहा है. But why is Krishna stealing? He has everything. Even when he was in Vrindavan, he had 900,000 cows, so much milk, so much butter, but still he is stealing. Because our Acharya explains that more than the butter, Krishna is interested in stealing devotees' hearts. And not ordinary heart, the heart which are nirmala. Nirmala means clean, pristine white. If you see makhan, it is pristine white. So Krishna wants to steal the heart which is clean. Not just clean, white, not just white, but soft. And how our heart becomes soft? When we practice bhakti, all the divine qualities slowly appear in us. Right? The Bhagavatam says, Yasya bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarve guna tatra samat site suraha. When you practice Krishna consciousness, slowly all the divine qualities come. So like that, Krishna steals the thief. And like Krishna is a butter thief, he tries to steal the butter. And then many times the gopis externally used to complain to Mother Yashoda that your Kana is coming and stealing. He is untying the cows and the calf. And he comes to our house, he breaks the pot, steals the butter, eats it, distributes it, and then we try to catch him. He'll distribute to the monkeys and tell the monkey, give it to the monkeys, and then tell their makhan is so third class, even monkey is not eating. And then he used to make fun and go. And then all the gopis coming together, they used to complain to Mother Yashoda. And then Mother Yashoda became so upset. She said, "Oh, if this is what my Kana is doing, I'll not leave him outside the house." And all the gopis unanimously said, No, actually we make makhan only for Krishna. वो तो हमको कृष्ण के बारे में बोलने का बहाना चाहिए, इसके लिए ये सब हम बोल रहे हैं. आप उसको घर पे मत रखो, उसको भेजो. You please send him. We are making makhan only so that he can come and eat. And Yashoda was like bewildered. पहले तो कंप्लेन करने आ रहे हो, फिर बोल रहे हो नहीं मक्खन खाने दो. पहले बोल रहे हो मक्खन क्यों खाया, अभी बोल रहे हो उसको उसी के लिए बनाते हैं, right? So we have that famous pastime of Krishna stealing the butter, and then he is caught by one gopi called Prabhavati Gopi, red-handed, and she tells that, every time I complain to your mom, she tells, my son never does that, he is so simple, he is so humble, he will never do that, today I will show. And she takes Krishna by hand and takes her to Mother Yashoda, and Krishna is telling, hey, I tell you, ऐसा मत करो, लास्ट वार्निंग दे रहा हो. एंड देन प्रभावती गोपी से एक तो चोरी करता है, ऊपर से धमकी देता है, चलो. एंड देन ही गोज एंड शी टेल्स, सी आई वाज टेलिंग यू, योर सन, ही इज डूइंग ऑल दैट, सी आई कॉट हिम रेड हैंडेड. एंड मैया यशोदा सेड, बाय द वे इट्स नॉट माय सन, इट्स योर सन. क्या हो गया है तुमको, ये तुम्हारे बेटे को मेरे घर लेके आए. सो देन शी वाज कंप्लीटली बिविल्डर्ड. शी सेड सॉरी. वापस घर लेके जा रहे तो कृष्णा ने बोला था ना, अब की बार ऐसा किया तो बेटा नहीं पति बन के आऊंगा, बहुत डांटूंगा. So like that, Krishna is a famous butter thief, and he is doing all this just so that he attracts his love towards his devotees. The Srimad Bhagavatam first canto says that Kritavan khila karmani sah ramena keshava iti martyani bhagavan Ghuda kapata manusha. It says that Krishna and Balaram, they come in this human form of life only for a reason, so that they can attract all the human beings. Right? All of us, many times we are sajatiyas. We are very familiar to, people. Right? You are in Gurgaon and then you get posted in Mumbai. And when you are in Mumbai, everything is new. And you work in the office, somebody is sharing the next desk, he's from Gurgaon, he's from the same place, he speaks the same language. Immediately that apnapan, right? Arey, aap bhi wahan se, arey, aap bhi wahan se. So similarly, Krishna is coming in the two-hand, simple human-like form, just so that he can attract all of us and take us back home, back to Godhead. Then of course, Krishna is known for stealing the clothes of the gopis. Of course, it's a very, very esoteric pastime, but to understand that Krishna's pastime are divine. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. Anybody who understands Krishna's divine pastimes and divine leelas, his activities, and his divine birth, Janma, he doesn't take birth again. So we see here especially Krishna stealing the clothes of the gopis. So it's a pastime where they are actually wanting Krishna to be their husband, and Krishna is reciprocating in some different ways like that. And then we come to the second verse. Shri Radhikaya Hridaresya Chauram Navam Buddha Shamalakanti Chauram Padashritanam Cha Samastra Chauram Chauragra Gadnyam Purusham Namani. So Krishna is known for stealing butter, Krishna is known for stealing so many things, but he is also known for stealing Srimati Radharani's heart. Right? Srimati Radharani is the topmost of devotees of Krishna. Right? Krishna is called as Madan Mohan. Right? Krishna is so beautiful. Krishna is called as Madan Mohan. And the Lord who has, is so beautiful, so enchanting that even Cupid is enchanted. Right? In Vrindavan there is a place called Madan Ter, where Madan or Cupid, he was thinking, I am the most beautiful person. Who is Krishna? Is he more beautiful than me? Right? So then he decided to enchant Krishna. Right? I always give this example. I don't know whether you have seen this. In Mumbai, different schools and colleges, on walls, especially in the toilet walls, they have heart drawn. I don't know whether आपके यहाँ पे ऐसा होता है कि नहीं. There's a heart drawn, and then there is an arrow in the heart, and then there is written so and so love so and so whatever. But do you know why there is a heart and why there is an arrow? Because Cupid's main job is to shoot arrows. Cupid has 5 different arrows, and each and every arrow has a particular significance. So when he puts the arrow, slowly you start, completely engrossed, and then you are stubbed, and then you are completely moha, enchanted. So he thought of shooting that arrow to enchant Krishna, but just seeing the sidelong glance of Krishna, he fell down. He was completely बेहोश हो गए कृष्ण की सुंदरता देखकर. Right? Have you ever seen in your life anyone more beautiful or most beautiful, उसको देख के आप बेहोश हो गए? ऐसा कभी हुआ है? हिंदी पिक्चरों में होता है, रियल लाइफ में कभी ऐसा हुआ है? हाँ, मतलब किसी ने मेकअप किया और मेकअप धोने के बाद गिर गए होंगे. But real life में, when you see somebody so beautiful that seeing the beauty you faint, ऐसा कभी हुआ है? But that is Krishna is so beautiful, and that's why he is Madan Mohan. And Srimati Radharani is so beautiful, she is called as Madan Mohan Mohini. In one of the Radhashtami lectures, Srila Prabhupada gave 25 minutes class on Krishna, and after 25 minutes he said, so that Krishna is controlled by Srimati Radharani. Thus ends the class. So that is Sri Radhikaya Hridayasya Choram. And then Navambuddha Shamala Kanti Choram. Krishna steals the complexion of clouds, that is the rain cloud. While we were coming, there was some thunderstorm, some rain prediction, right? So Krishna is like that blackish monsoon cloud, right? And then Anek Janmarjita Papa Chauram Chauragra Ganyam Purusham Namami. Krishna is known for taking the sins of all the devotees. Have you ever heard any Lord, any master who is telling that if you surrender to me, I'll take all your sins? Not just sins, I'll deliver you from the cycle of birth and death. I'll give you moksha. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam rajaha. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishami mahasucha. So Krishna is the Lord. Today's world is world of social media. Everybody is on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and everybody wants to increase their followers, right? On Instagram they want to be famous, they make reels, they make content, and then they request the followers, please like, share, subscribe, right? Follow, click on the follow button, bell button, right? That, right? And then the followers, they are increased. There's so many famous celebrities, they have 100 million, 200 million followers, 600 million followers on Instagram, right? I always joke, today's world, everybody knows Instagram, but they don't know Shaligram, right? Which is not different than Krishna, right? But people know Instagram. And when this Instagram have so many followers, does any of the celebrity, any of the influencer tell that anybody who follows me, I will take all the sins? कोई है जो बोलता है आपने मेरे अकाउंट को फॉलो किया, मैं आपके सारे पाप को हर लूंगा? उल्टा वो फॉलो करने के बाद वो ज़्यादा पाप करेगा या ये ज़्यादा पाप करेगा? But Krishna is giving the assurance that yes, I will take care of it. Then comes the third verse, which is Akinchani Kritya Padashritam Ye करोति भिक्षुम पथि गेहहीनम केनाप्यहो भीक्षण चोर इद्रिक दृष्ट्वा श्रितो वा न जगत त्रयेपि. So this is the third verse. We spoke of first and second, which was the work, the profile. क्या क्या चोरी किया है उन्होंने. अभी थर्ड और फोर्थ में बोल रहे कि इनकी खासियत क्या है. ये किस प्रकार की चोरी करते हैं. बैंक रॉबरी करते हैं, या सोने की चोरी करते हैं, या और कुछ चुराते हैं. राइट. सो इन दिस वर्स इट इज सेड दैट कृष्णा ऐसे चोर है जो क्या करते हैं, जो अमीर को गरीब बनाते हैं, गरीब को अमीर बना देते हैं. हाँ, व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड? इफ यू सी द वर्स, करोति भिक्षम पथि गेहहीनम. मतलब जो अमीर है उसको भिक्षुक बना देते हैं, भिक्षुक को अमीर बना देते हैं. हाँ, बड़ी डेंजरस भगवान है. तो वी सी इन द महाभारत, युधिष्ठिर, पांडवास, कितना स्ट्रगल था उनके जीवन में. बचपन से उनको कोई विष दिया जाता था, उनको मारा जाता था, उनको जलाया जाता था, और फिर इतना स्ट्रगल करने के बाद उनको 14 साल वनवास के बाद उनको राज्य मिला. और राज्य मिलने के बाद ये लोग बोल रहे हैं, कृष्ण अभी आप जा रहे हो, अभी हमारा क्या होगा. कुंती महारानी इज प्रेइंग, विबद असंतु तत्शाश्वत तत्र तत्र जगत गुरु. She is saying that because you were there, all the problems were solved. But now when you are gone, everything is nice. So I pray that more problems come. Let there be problems so that we can remember you more. Right? So we see Pandavas had so much problem. And then, they were made into bhikshuks. And then we had Sudama, who was a bhikshuk, then he was given a palace. Right? So that is the glory of Krishna. As they say, rags to riches and riches to rags. So that is Krishna. And that's why I think in somewhere it is mentioned that, I think Prabhupada quoted this verse, Harishit tadvanam shanai. What is that called? What was that? Yasyaham anugrahanami harishye tadvanam shanai. That how, when I am extremely merciful, I take everything from my devotees. Scary, na? The whole world is teaching you, go to God, pray, dhanam dehi, putram dehi, ye dehi, wo dehi. And Krishna is telling, dehi nahi, lehi. मेरे पास आएगा तो सब ले लूंगा. So that is Krishna. Krishna is something beyond. And then comes the fourth verse, which talks of Krishna as a person who steals one more thing. What is that? Yadiya namapi hariti ashesham giri prasaran api paparashim ascharya rupo nanuchaura idrik drishtva shutova na maya kadapi. So one thing here is described that Krishna is good in stealing the pap. How much pap? 100 grams, 200 grams, 1 kg. Giri prasadan, the mountain of sin of devotees, of his devotees. He can dispel it. He can, बोलते ना, गायब कर देते हैं भगवान. गिरी प्रसादान अपि पापराशि आश्चर्य रूपो ननु चौरा इद्रिक. The great devotees, they are, in wonder that how the Lord is so merciful. He can take all the sins and he can deliver his devotees. Right? So that's why the chanting of the holy name is always considered very important, especially in this age of Kali. The whole of the Srimad Bhagavatam has so many episodes, so many tattvas, so many pastimes, so many prayers. But at the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam, speaks of the verse Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranami Dukkha Shamanam Ramnamami Hari Param. This verse talks about that the essence of the verse is to chant the holy name always. And when you chant the holy name always, what will happen? All the papa will go away. We can remember Krishna, we can come closer to Krishna. And chanting the holy name is dispelling all the sins, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, like that. Then comes the fifth verse, where another details of his stealing has been described. Dhanam cha manam cha tathendriyani pranam cha hitva mama sarvameva palasya kutra drito dya choram tvam bhakti damna simaya niruddha. So he's known for stealing so many things, but he is the one who doesn't like his devotees, man. He'll steal his dhana, he'll steal his man also, ego, ahankar, right? Dhanam cha manam cha tathendriyana, senses. A devotee gets helplessly attracted to Krishna, right? How many of us planned to come to Krishna consciousness? Anybody here? कितने लोगों ने, जैसे लोग प्लान करके पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन करते हैं, इंजीनियरिंग करते हैं, PhD करते हैं, कितने लोगों ने प्लान किया था कि इस दिन मैं निताय प्रभु के घर पे चैतन्य चरितामृत का क्लास सुनने जाऊंगा, या I will go to Radha Damodar temple and get attracted to the beautiful form of Radha Damodar. Did we plan? No. But हो गया. Because Krishna is all attractive, has attracted us. He has attracted us either in the form of the prasadam, which will be served after the program, in the form of prasadam, in the form of devotees, in the form of books, in the form of the holy name, right? In the form of his wonderful association. I always tell this funny pastime. Somewhere in Europe, some country, there was one young boy, a visitor. He was roaming around, and in the West, in Europe, many of the temples, they are look like churches, and like that. So he visited inside, and it was a Krishna temple, the Hare Krishna temple, and there were beautiful paintings and all that. And especially one peculiar thing of ISKCON temple is when you enter, there is the fragrance of the agarbatti, right? Generally, Europe and different places, there's so many smell outside. But then the fragrance of agarbatti attracted him. He went inside, he went near to the deities. He saw Krishna is standing like this, and very beautiful. He's there. And then everything was normal. He was going around seeing everything. And suddenly there was a brahmachari who was at the back. And as soon as his eye contact with the brahmachari, he gave a big smile. And this person was like, me? He said, yes. He said, can you come? He said, yes. He came and he gave a glass of chilled rabdi, condensed milk. And then he said, this is for me? He said, yes, of course, you're a guest, please. So he tasted that rabdi. So he tasted the rabdi. The rabdi tasted extraordinary. तो पागल हो गया वो टेस्ट करके, because ऐसा कभी खाया नहीं था उसने. So then what happened was, he came every day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. After 4 days, he was waiting for that glass of rabdi. And then he started chanting Hare Krishna. And then after a month, when he came and he saw this devotee again, he went and he was about to take the glass. He gave it to the glass of that rabdi. And this time he said, Prabhu, can you see that guest? Give them. तो उसको लगा ये मेरे लिए है. But then he said, आप तो बहुत खा चुके. Now is the time for paropkar. So many times when we come to Krishna consciousness, devotees give us prasad. But after some time, we understand that now I should contribute. Now I should serve. Right? So that is Krishna. He takes the ego, he takes the wealth, he takes the life, he takes the senses of a devotee so that he engages them in Krishna. Especially talking about ego, in the Bhagavatam, the example of Indra. You know how Krishna punctured his false ego. Right? Krishna got up in the morning. You know, there was some celebration, cooking happening, and this and that. And Krishna inquired, "What is this program?" His father said, "Today is Indra Puja." And he said, "No doing Indra Puja. We'll do Govardhan Puja." And he said, "Beta, आज पूजा है, बाद में करेंगे." He said, नहीं, आज ही करना है. And then there's a long discussion. And then nobody knew what is Govardhan Puja, why to do it. But Krishna convinced his father. It's like you make a chappan bhog thali and you are invited for the lunch and you take the asan. आपके सामने प्लेट रखा है, जैसे आप महाप्रसाद गोविंद के लिए आंख बंद करें, आपके सामने की प्लेट चली गई. And then you are said, "प्रभु प्लेट." बोले, "सॉरी, आपके लिए नहीं था, वो दूसरे प्रभु जी के लिए था." So he became completely like that. So Indra was so hurt. And then the false ego is so dangerous, you know. He tried to kill the entire Vrindavan Dham devotees, not just Krishna. All the other demons, they only try to attack Krishna, kill Krishna. But Indra, the greatest of demigods, he was so furious that he tried to finish the entire Vrindavan Vasis. What a big aparadh. So that is the power of ego. And then we see how Dhruva Maharaj, he was hurt with ego, that he was not allowed to sit on the lap. But then Krishna gave him darshan. And then once the devotee gets what he wants, he was feeling what I was asking from the Lord and what I got. I was looking for pieces of broken glass, but I got diamond. So that is what has been described here. And then of course so many different pastimes has been given. So then we come to the 6th verse, which is Chinatsi Goram Yamapasha Bandham Vinatsi Bhimam Bhava Pasha Bandham Chinatsi Sarvasya Samasta Bandham Naivatmano Bhakta Kritam Tu Bandham. So in this verse, you know, he describes about, you know, the Yamapash. As all of us are aware, when a person is very sinful, he gets that Yamapash by the Yamadutas and he's carried away like that. So Krishna, you know, he delivers his devotees by this cycle of birth and death, and he's expert in cutting the terrible nose of Maya and terrible nose of Yamaraj, and also Bhavapash, right? Bhava Rog, like we are suffering from the disease of material existence, right? So if you want to get rid of the disease of Bhava Rog, then we have to chant the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now last two verses, that is 7 and 8, which is like the culmination of his Ashtakam, the Chaurashtakam. Now Bilva Mangal Thakur is making a plan that चोर तो बड़ा है, अभी इसको पकड़ना है, इसको जाने नहीं देना है, इसको उम्र कैद की सजा सुनानी है, जीवन भर उसको बांध के रखना है. So then that's where he starts chanting the 7th verse. Mana manasa tamasa rashi ghore काराग्रहे दुखे मये निबद्ध लाभस्व हे चौर हरे चिराय स्वचौर रितम एव दंडम. Now he is telling that, you know, what are the security arrangements made? My heart, which is very dark and fearsome. तो हार्ट जो है वो कारागृह जैसा है, अंधेरा है, डार्क है, उसमें कृष्ण को बंद कर देंगे. हाँ, और फिर ओ थीफ, आई विल पनिश यू देयर फॉर ऑल योर, इतनी सारी चोरी की है, अभी सजा भुगतोगे मेरे हृदय में, लाइक दैट. एंड देन बिल्वा मंगल ठाकुर is praying, you know, he has written so many beautiful verses, so many different stotras. The famous is, you know, Krishna Karanamrit, and then Govinda Damodara Madhavitri Stotra. So like that. And then the last verse, the verse 8. Karagrahe vasa sada hridaye madiye mad bhakti pash drida bandham nishchalam san. Tvam Krishna he pralaya koti satantarepi sarvasva chaura hridayan nahima mochayan. So the last verse, Bilwa Mangal Thakur is saying, how will I catch him? जैसे हिंदी पिक्चरों में चोर पुलिस को पकड़ता है तो उसको हथकड़ी देता है, यू आर अंडर अरेस्ट, हथकड़ी, राइट? तो यहाँ पे भगवान को कैसे पकड़ेंगे? यम पास से नहीं, भक्ति पास से, द न्यूज ऑफ डिवोशन। और ऐसा पकड़ के उनको हम लेके आएंगे और फिर उनका हियरिंग होगा और उनको सजा सुनाई जाएगी, उम्र कैद की नहीं, प्रलय कोटि सतंतरेपि, नॉट 14 years, टिल द एंड ऑफ द यूनिवर्स। जब तक प्रलय ना आ जाए तब तक आपको हम छोड़ेंगे नहीं। यू विल बी रिजाइडिंग इन माई हार्ट फॉर इटर्निटी, एंड दिस इज द वे आई विल पनिश द ग्रेटेस्ट ऑफ ऑल थीव्स, दैट इज कृष्णा। सो ग्रेटेस्ट थीफ कृष्ण भगवान की जय, चौराष्टकम की जय, बिल्वा मंगल ठाकुर की जय। So in this way we see how Krishna is so sweet, he is so magnanimous, he is so merciful, right? Krishna is always there for his devotees, and especially in this month of Purushottam. So I'm sure many of us are reciting this verse or bhajan or so many other verses, but we try to meditate on the meaning, and we hope and pray that one day Krishna steals our heart, he steals our sins, and he tries to deliver us from the cycle of birth, death, disease and old age, and takes them back home, back to Godhead, to Golok Vrindavan. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Purna Purushottam Bhagavan ki jai. So it's almost 35 minutes, Prabhu, so we'll end here. Anything else?
We'll sing short. Gopi, here we'll sing.
So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada की जय, गुरगांव भक्त वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे जय, निताई प्रभु की जय, निताई प्रभु के बेटी गोपी माता की